Around 90 days ago, I set myself the challenge of starting 2 brand new print-on-demand stores from scratch using products I've never sold before to see if I could replicate success I've had with other print-on-demand stores. It's been about 90 days since I started that challenge, so I thought I'd give you all an update on how that's going. So if you've watched my 2 previous videos on this, then you'll know that the first store that I started is a novelty underwear store and the second store is just a t-shirt store. So I'm going to go through the analytics of the underwear store first and the t-shirt store second. So first things first, I just want to show you the Shopify dashboard and show you that the sessions I've got are real. So I'm just going to refresh the page now and you'll see that in 90 days I've got 9,060 sessions. Now you'll see that I've taken the total amount of revenue out of this graph, and that's because I've put that into a Excel spreadsheet, which I'm going to break down shortly. If I showed you the total amount of revenue now, then there'd be absolutely no point of you watching the rest of the video. So for the purpose of audience retention, I've took the revenue out, but I'll reveal it later. I just wanted to quickly refresh the Shopify dashboard and prove to you that these stats are real and they are mine. Okay, so moving on to Excel now, I just want to go through this column by column like I did in the 28-day roundup video and show you exactly where I'm at with the 2 print-on-demand stores. So first things first, number of total listings, 8. Same as November, I didn't make any more listings in December. I had 2 products that were working really well, so I thought rather than making new products, I'll just run with what's working until it slows down. And number of TikToks posted, 19. Number of Reels posted, 19. Now, I take the exact same things that I'm posting on TikTok and put them on Instagram. And what's really interesting to me is a difference in reach from the same pieces of content. 3.3 million on TikTok and 39,000 on Instagram, which just goes to show what's working on one platform doesn't necessarily work on another platform. So it's really important to kind of experiment with this and adapt your content accordingly for different social media platforms. And it's also important to remember I am doing these 2 stores purely from organic traffic. I'm not paying for any paid Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads. I'm just trying to make viral content and convert the views into sales. I do just want to quickly mention before I go over any more analytics, I am using a Chinese print provider for this print on demand store. They're called Inkjoy. I don't know if you've heard of them. They didn't seem too popular, but that was kind of the purpose of this experiment. I wanted to, number 1, try products I've not sold before, and number 2, try a print provider other than Printify and Printful. Because as you know, Printify and Printful are the 2 most popular print-on-demand suppliers. So I thought I'd give something else a go since this store is an experiment and experiments are where you try new things. So going over to the website visits from about 3.4 million views, I got 1,860 website visits. Now, I'm not going to lie, 3.4 million views and 1,800 website visits isn't the best, and I think more than anything that's down to the product. I did mention it is novelty underwear I'm selling, so it's more funny than it is practical, and obviously that impacts sales because you kind of need you want people to buy your product and wear your product, whereas this product I'm trying to sell is kind of just funny rather than wearable. And you might think that's a completely ridiculous thing to try and sell, and I do somewhat agree, but again, like I said, this is an experiment and I just wanted to see if it worked. So moving on to total orders, we got 29 total orders from 1,800 website visits, which gives us a conversion of 1.34%, and total revenue 792, Shopify payouts 799. And you might wonder why the Shopify payouts is higher than the revenue, and that's simply because there's a little overlap from when you make a sale. So made a sale here, got paid out here, for example, made a sale here, got paid out here. So sometimes if you make a sale at the end of the month, there's a little bit of an overlap, and your sales from the end of November will reflect in your December balance, for example. Moving on to the monthly subscriptions, we've got £25 Shopify subscription, £0 on the domain, 15 on the business bank account, and stock purchases £471, which gives me a monthly profit of £287, and as you can see up here, total profit £1,041 for 90 days running a brand new print on demand store. Now, obviously an average of £347 a month. It's not life changing, but it's good side hustle money. And like I say, these numbers here, the monthly profit, they definitely could have been a lot higher if, number one, I posted more listings. I think 8 listings in 3 months isn't the best, and 50 TikToks and 50 Reels again isn't the best. So essentially, just imagine if I tripled all the numbers here. I had 24 listings, 150 TikToks, 150 Reels. This number is likely to be over 3,000, and then 1,000 a month isn't bad at all. So what future plans have I got for the novelty underwear store? Will I keep it going now it's been 90 days running it? And I think the answer to that is yes, I am going to keep the store going. So although I've only made a profit of £347 a month, like I say, it's not life-changing money, but I do think it is somewhat scalable. If I posted more products and I posted more TikToks, I think the biggest issue I've got with this store at the minute is the print provider. Like I say, I am using Inkjoy, Chinese print provider, and their interface for making products isn't the most user-friendly, to say the least. And not only that, their shipping times are between 1 week to 2.5 weeks, so you have got to make this clear on your website. And I think the shipping time being 1 to 2 weeks has definitely affected the conversion. So I do want to look for a print provider either in Europe, UK, America, Canada, that will offer me a similar profit margin and see if that increases the conversion rate. But I think for the time being, I am going to keep this store running and see where I can take it. So just quickly going back to the Shopify now, I do want to show you one thing that has worked really well for me, and I have mentioned it in previous videos, and that is offering shipping protection at checkout as an add-on. Now, the shipping protection that I use is offered by a third-party app called Navidium Shipping Protection, and as you can see, in the past 90 days, the shipping protection has brought me an extra £193 in revenue. So all I do, I offer shipping protection at checkout, optional. I put a message saying opt in, opt out, and I have that set at £199. And on average, 55% of my customers opt in for shipping protection. So I think shipping protection is certainly a good thing you can put on your store that just helps increase your average order value. Okay, so jumping back into Excel now, I want to show you the second print on demand store that I started, and I'm not going to lie, I'm having an absolutely awful time with this one. So I started off with a Shopify approach, similarly to the underwear, and terrible time on TikTok, couldn't reach anybody really. Terrible time on Instagram, same story, couldn't reach anybody, despite posting 31 times, 32 times. So I thought I'll take this store to Etsy because personally I thought the designs were decent and I thought they'd have a good shot on Etsy. So in December, you can see I put 80 things on Etsy. I had 544 Etsy visits and I had 1 Etsy order. Now, when you start a new Etsy store, a lot of people do say that it takes anywhere from 1 month to 2 months for your listings to properly rank in the search. So that could be a contributing factor to the 1 order. And also when you start a new Etsy store, I'm sure you're aware that you get flooded with spam messages, flooded with scam messages. So that's another reason why I got a lot of visits and only 1 order, because probably only about 150 of these visits were actually genuine people. This unfortunately meant my conversion rate was 0.2%, and the revenue was £23.94, and the payouts were only £185. And The payouts are only £1.85 because obviously you pay 20 cents per Etsy listing, and you also pay a fee to open your shop, which was £11. I believe that's gone up to £12 now, so used to be free, but obviously Etsy love coining in on the sellers. Stock purchases, $10.73. I'm using Printify for this store, so profit margins are around 50% on adult t-shirts when using Printify. And then EverBee, I didn't have to pay for. Domain, didn't have to pay for, obviously. That was for Shopify. Fiverr, I spent £114 because my plan with this store was to outsource as much as the work as possible and kind of just have it on autopilot, which unfortunately meant my profit for that month was minus 134, bringing my total loss on the t-shirt store to minus 296. Now, there's a few reasons for that. Number one, I'm paying someone for the designs, so I've lost £189 on Fiverr. Another reason is I'm no longer promoting on socials, so I'm relying on Etsy and Etsy only to bring me sales, which isn't proving to be the best idea, but like I say, this could be because the listings haven't ranked yet, so they're not actually getting any proper visits. So, you know, this is kind of a lesson learned that you can't just start an Etsy store and have it running on autopilot. You do have to have some input yourself. So I think my plan is with this store, I'm going to carry on making new listings and hopefully they'll rank. But, you know, that was the purpose of these experiments. I wanted to tap into 2 different niches that I've not tapped into before. I wanted to try new products, new print providers, new methods, see what works, see what doesn't, and then I can implement what's working into future stores, into these stores. And yeah, kind of just have a play around with new things, really. So that's where I'm at. 90 days, 2 new print on demand stores, minus 296 on one store, plus 1041 on another. So I hope this video has been insightful and you've liked seeing my figures, like seeing my analytics. I'll probably do another update on the 5th month, I think, maybe the 4th, see how the stores do. But for now, I'm going to leave it there and I'll see you next time.